Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
That's good. So I just want you to relax, be yourself. We just having a conversation with me and you, even though you know it's gonna be on the internet.
Yeah.
But so you're my first interview,
Okay.
and this interview is gonna be about you,
Okay.
your thoughts, your opinions. So there's no wrong answer. Your experiences.
Okay.
So the first question I want to ask is, what are you?
What am I? Meaning my ethnicity?
Yeah, you can say ethnicity, your race. You can say
My
both.
ethnicity. Well, interesting enough, when I'm asked this question, it's funny that I've noticed on the papers now that like it's a difference between ethnicity and nationality or something like that. Like it's a separation.
Right.
It's weird, but I find myself putting down Hispanic because both my parents are Puerto Rican.
Okay.
My dad and my mom are from Puerto Rico, and but they were born in the United States, so their parents are Puerto Rican. So yeah, and then I also say African American as well. So yeah, that's what I put down. Honestly, yeah, as far as that, yeah, that's what I say I am. I'm Hispanic. That's what I say I am.
Okay. So growing up, did you have anybody disagree with you thinking that you were Puerto Rican or Hispanic or African American?
No, and the reason why, because I've never been in that type of mix. Like I've never was approached in that way. I've never experienced, the not Spanish enough or not black enough thing.
Okay.
What I did experience is people thinking that I'm mixed.
Okay.
So they'll say, "Oh, you're mixed," or "Are you Trinidadian?" or something like that because of the texture of my hair. But then, I'll say no. Both my parents are Hispanic. They're like, "Oh, okay," like that. So
Yeah.
I've never been, into any situation where they didn't believe me or I had to prove it or type of thing. Yeah, no.
Okay, so that's very interesting. And how do you feel about the word Afro Latina?
I think it's cool. I mean, I get it because again, as I explained in the beginning, when with the first question, they kind of separated.
Right.
So now with that type of title, I can understand why that's created because they ask you, are you Hispanic? You either put yes or no, and then they say, what's your ethnicity? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I get it, Afro Latina. I think it's fitting. I think it bring awareness of how deep certain things go.
Right.
And how much everything is all at one, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, we do a lot of separation as it is.
Right.
But, all of it comes from, a source. So I think it's cool.
Nice. So, you feel like Afro Latina is a great way to describe who you are?
I would say that.
Okay. Do you know any other Afro Latinas, or do you not see much?
Of course, I do. Because, and another reason too, when I was working in the Bronx, it's all out there. You have a whole bunch of, Afro Latinas out there. So it's kind of like the norm. So I kind of grew up and been around and surrounded with a lot of women that were, of color that were Hispanic. So it was normal to me. And it's so funny, the culture was so, the culture of being Afro Latina or Latino is so thick in the Bronx that even the African Americans go around kissing on the cheeks. That's really, a Latin thing to do, or, a Hispanic thing to do. Like
Right.
they hug and kiss on the cheek. So that's how they greet people. Even if you was African American, you were hugging and kissing on the cheeks.
Right.
If you were Caucasian, if you was Asian in the Bronx, you're kissing on the cheeks and to greet one another. So that culture is like really, really impacted in the Bronx. So, yeah.
Okay, so do you feel like if you had a different texture of hair, people would treat you different when they heard that you were Afro Latina or of Latin descent?
Do I think? I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Cause I don't know. I don't know. To be honest, I'm more of a person that I like the inner, regardless of your ethnicity. So things like that don't really come to mind, really. I don't think of scenarios or, things like that. So I'm more of an individual, like, if you have a good heart, you know what I mean, we cool. So, things like that, but I
Yeah.
don't really look at ethnicity in that way, so yeah, like I don't know, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Do you have any Latinas that's your skin complexion that you've seen when you were younger that you could look up to either on TV or in real life?
On TV? It's so funny because, like, I grew up in two different, like, homes. On the weekend, I'll be with my dad, and I feel like, honestly, the Spanish culture was more enforced in my dad's side,
Right.
and on my mom's side, it wasn't as much, really. So, if I think back on my dad's side, like, I watched novelas and, you know what I mean, and Sábado Gigante and stuff like that. And I never really looked at color. Like, I don't know. I don't look at color the same way other people do.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so I never looked at people's skin complexion to make me feel comfortable with, who I am.
Right.
Again, I think even back then, it was more of a heart thing. So.
It's okay.